Hey everybody, Matthew Morris, MM Wood Studio. We're here in the beach shop and it's been about a month since we talked last. So I really want to bring you up to speed with everything that's been going on here at the beach shop, which means it's time for another shop update. Well, where do we start? I don't know, there's been so much going on. We'll just start with, let's start with the floor. So the last time we met, you may see that I am standing on top of concrete. Fast forward a month, the concrete has been covered and I now have a nice, beautiful wood-like looking floor. I went with some vinyl plank flooring that I got at a big box store. So I think the last time I talked to you, in one part of the video I was like, and right here is where I want to put the bench. Well, here is my new beautiful Lee Nielsen bench here in the shop. Now I've zoomed out as wide as I can and I wanted to do that to give you some perspective on the size of the shop. It's 500 square feet, as I've said before, divided into two rectangles, and we're in the first rectangle. So the camera now has been turned around 180 degrees roughly. The bench is behind the camera and you're looking at me towards the table saw and the new set of double doors right behind us. This is perfect for allowing sheet goods or other large material to come into the shop. To the left of it over here is the lumber rack, and here's the table saw. I put the table saw here and it's on wheels. It's a SawStop industrial table saw. And I did that so that I can put it on wheels, move it over, open those double doors, and if I need to run a 4x8 sheet of plywood through the table saw, I can definitely handle that with these double doors open. With the industrial SawStop, I also went with the industrial base and the folding out feed table, just like I have in the Georgia shop. The folding out feed table here is really awesome because it saves a ton of space. If I want to or need extra room, I don't need to run long parts. I can just fold it up and it almost disappears. I mean, it takes up like this much space compared to, I don't know how long it is right now, whatever that depth is. Now in the table saw area here, I've done a little bit of work. I, of course, set everything up, but with a small shop, I have to figure out different ways to hold things. So as you can see here, I have just a plywood cabinet screwed together with holes for shelves, and I got a box cutter joint set up here, another table saw, blade, air protection, dust mask, tape measures, an angle gauge for the table saw. All that stuff is up here. And then right over here is this little shelf I put up. It's sitting on some 6-inch steel brackets. And that is to actually hold this crosscut sled because I needed to find a place to put it that would be safe and secure. I don't have a shelf built for the fence right now. I'm not sure I'm going to build one. Usually I just run it over to the edge if I need to do work with the crosscut sled right here. Now if I turn the camera to its right, over here is the lumber rack, just like where I told you guys I was going to put it. I have pre-primed and painted, that's why you see some white around it, the areas where the lumber rack is connected to the T111. I plan on sanding and priming and painting all of the T111 here in the shop, like an off white, still very white, but just off by a little bit. That will reflect light very well in the shop, and I think it'll really help with the lighting here for filming. I just haven't gotten to it yet. There's been so much going on. Now back behind this, for a miter saw station, it flips up, which allows the miter saw to be hidden, and that also gives me a nice flat surface when the miter saw is, well, flipped over, so I can put parts and various other things on top of that. Hidden in between those things is a dehumidifier. So there's lots of humidity here in the south. Right now the shop, I don't know if you can see it, it's at about 36%. So I got the dehumidifier in here, plus the mini split system has a dry mode on it too. So over here also, you can kind of see it's poking out right here, is some Festool gear. I'll show you where the rest of that stuff is, but this is pretty much the vac and the sanders right here, and That's a good home for it, near the assembly table, near the bench. Now I decided to take as much advantage of the T111 as possible by going vertical in many places, and this area is one of them. I have my parallel clamps up here, my F-style clamps here, the Festool tracks, and some levels here. And it's a nice spot because the wall begins and it's kind of capped over here with this trim piece right over here. And everything, you just screw it right into the T111 and it just holds really nicely, and it's been really great to be able to just screw right in and hang things up. Now next to it is this Grizzly Jointer planer combo machine. I haven't had a lot of use on it yet, so a lot of hours dimensioning wood. I have set it up, I have run some stuff through it, and it's definitely not nearly as sophisticated of a machine as the hammer that I have in Georgia, but I think it's really going to do a good job. The big differences is that this fence, it has to come off the machine completely when you go into planer mode. So I built a shelf over here to hold it. I didn't build the shelf, I bought some metal L brackets, threw on a piece of 1/2-inch plywood, and I had a shelf. Over here I put another shelf together to hold the guard, because the guard has to come off too, and a little cabinet that's up here just to hold some things for the Jointer planer. I'm really looking forward to putting it through its paces in this first build and really running some lumber through it and really getting a good understanding for it. But I think I've got it set up nicely, and I'm just jazzed to be able to start to use it. Now right next to the Jointer planer combo machine is this Rockler dust collector. It's on wheels, so I can bring it anywhere in the shop, which is cool. And I got the really long hose for it, so I can pretty much leave it here and take that hose and reach the table saw, no problem. Not pretty much, I can. But if I needed to wheel it somewhere, I wanted to be closer, I can, which I like. It's got the, I don't remember, it says 1 micron or 3, whatever this is, but for the filter up here, but you just, and that fine dust falls into the bag. Next to it, or behind it over here, as you can see, I have some additional storage. We'll get to these red Craftsman cabinets in just a sec. I put all the rest of the sustainers up here. Again, going vertical. Just screwed some 3/4-inch plywood together, drilled some holes for shelf pins, and threw up some 1/2-inch shelves, and here we go. I got the rest of the Festool boxes up here. Went vertical for some storage of just not drill bits, but screws right over here, and that just brings everything up, saving me floor space, because I want the middle of this rectangle to be clear, so that if I move out machines and do work there, I'm not worried about, I don't have to move anything to move into the middle of the floor. I want that floor area wide open. Now if we just pan over a little bit, we get into this longer portion of the wall, dust collector being right over here. Now as you can see, I've got 2 rolling cabinets right here. These are built just like the rolling cabinets I built for every other shop I've had. Of course, one's got this rigid standing station, which is amazing. I've been using it for, I don't know, 10+ years. It's phenomenal, does a great job. I don't know if you can hear the plane or not. We'll have to see that in editing. And next to it is one that is empty and open right now. There's a panel router en route that is going to go here. I'm really jazzed about that. I've been using a multi-router for years, and I really want to try the panel router out. It seems like so many people like them and really fall in love with them, and how versatile there is. So I want to see if they're really that versatile and they're really that good. I wanted to go vertical and be able to store tons of stuff. And I kind of wanted to jazz it up. I thought I could build these, I can put some MDF doors, and that'd be fun, that'd be fine. But I don't know, I just wanted to add some color into the shop. So we went with these Craftsman cabinets. They're all metal. They went together really easily. Now here is the router table. I decided to go with this Rockler steel cabinet router table. I've had an Incra router table for, I don't know, 12, 13 years, really long amount of time. And I can count on one hand the amount of times I've used the Incra fence to its full potential on that router table. Not to say that it's not good. It's a really amazing router table. I just didn't see the need to get an Incra fence, and I want to take the money the Incra fence costs and either not spend it at all or use it a different way. And that different way is in this cabinet, basically. So I was really jazzed that they had this product. It's preset for the wheels, it's got the sides, everything's enclosed, so it'll be good for dust collection as far as stuff not getting into it. It's got dust collection built in, when they're dust port things, with a 4-inch connection and a 2.5-inch up here on top. The fence is still micro adjustable, and what I really liked was that you can add drawers. It was all steel and it moves around on really big casters, and I just like that. So I built a drawer to hold wrenches and bits down here, and then another drawer to hold the rest of the router table stuff. Now you've seen the drill press before, but now I've got it on a mobile base and it's got a cabinet. So this was something I'm really stoked about. I got this large all-terrain mobile base from Rockler. I brought the drill press and got it on top of it. I actually have it, I guess, backwards. The front of it with the wheels that swivel are in the back, and I have the non-swivel wheels here in the front. And then I built this cabinet to sit on top of it, which will allow the post here from the drill press to go through it. And so I got storage for bits up here in the drawer, and some various other things for the drill press. And then below I've got a little cabinet where I have all the drills and impact drivers down here. And you know, if you don't have one of these carts in your shop, something like this I think will be a great addition to the shop. Parts, you move it around to the jointer, to the planer, to the table saw. All of your jigs and various other things of your project can usually fit inside of something like this, depending, of course, the size of the project. And I have this sitting here at the window. It's low enough, I still get a nice view. A lot of nice natural light comes in, and it's a good spot and good home for it. And then last but not least is the bandsaw. This you've seen before, the Laguna 14BX. Got on wheels. I've used it a little bit so far. Once I got it adjusted, I have it in this spot because behind it there is nothing else that's taller. So if I need to run a longer piece, I can just move the cart out of the way, get some support there, and then run this piece. And there's a lot of thought into all this stuff. I may have talked about it before, but the jointer is over here, and I can just move the jointer back and forth. So if I need to run longer pieces, I can set in the right spot in the shop to be able to do that and just provide in-feed and out-feed support for those parts with some kind of roller stand or something like that. And that's really been the thought process for everything here at the shop is, you know, how can I give enough room to work on larger projects and larger pieces and parts. That's why everything's on wheels. The drill press is on wheels. If I need to do something where it's longer than where that cinder block wall is, it's the first floor here, it's holding up the rest of the house, well, I can just move it into the middle and then move it back. And I just have the casters in the back locked, and I unlock them and I roll it out. This thing I rolled another spot. The bandsaw can roll, the table saw can roll, all of it can roll. And I just think that's really imperative in a shop of this size, and that's why I went with all those things. So anyways, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the little shop tour here at the beach shop. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any thoughts on different improvements or ways to approach things than I did, maybe something you've done in your shop, I'd like to know that. Leave that in the comments below. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe, and have a great week in your shop.